Hey everybody, this is Indigo from the 275th Ranger Battalion Charlie Company unit. Um, Today I'm going to be going over how to use multiple channels on your radios at once. This is very important in a squad level and also in a long-range communication with air elements aspects. For example, in a squad element, sometimes squads will separate into separate subchannels as to not interfere with command communications but still be able to talk amongst themselves should they split into fire teams. Likewise, with command, they may choose to use a single long-range radio and have access to the air channel and also to the ground command channel. And you will be able to monitor two channels simultaneously using this and respond / transmit on whichever one you choose based on the hotkey that you use to transmit. So this first section will go ahead and outline multi and dual channel usage on the SOP personal radio, the AN PRC 152. And this is it right here. You'll see it at the bottom of my inventory. If we hit Control P to bring up the configuration for the shortwave radio, that's what this is right here. So we notice that of course we have the standard layout here. We can hit 1, 2, 3, etc. on our numpad, and you'll see in the bottom right the dialog comes up and it shows us switching multiple channels. This is 1 through 9 on the 1 through 8 on the numpad of your keyboard. This is useful if you want to change channels, but keep in mind that you will be not monitoring whatever channel you are not actively on. So if I speak on 677, radio check, and then I change to channel 2 to transmit on there, hello. If at this time right now someone were to message me or were to transmit on 677, I would not receive them, because it is not my active nor my additional channel. So let's go ahead and let's fix that. So let's go ahead back to channel 1. We've set that as our active. We'll go ahead and pull up a radio. And the way that we're going to do this is we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to channel 2. We're going to do that by using this button. This is the same as pressing that numpad 2 key. We're going to go to channel 2. We're going to go ahead and tune this to 51. Going to hit enter to set our frequency. And imagine this is our squad level communication channel. Channel 1 is our ground command channel. If I am a squad leader, I will have this tuned at all times so I can receive commands and then order my squad where they need to be. We'll change to channel 2 because we want private squad comms as well. Once I receive orders from command, I'm going to pass the word down to the people in my squad and let them know where they need to be. In addition, if all my squad members have this as their primary radio channel, they don't need to listen to command. They'll be able to clearly hear my orders to them based on what I hear from command. This is how the chain of command works, and this is what will make it most effective. So in order for me to set channel 51, which is our squad channel, as my additional channel, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to hit the set additional channel button. On this radio, it is the left arrow key. If you see right here, it says set additional channel. We're going to go ahead and click this, and we notice that the C here changes to an A. A for additional channel. And what you'll notice is if you look down here in the bottom right corner as well, you'll see that channel 2 changes to additional channel 2 down at the bottom there. So now that we have our additional channel tuned as we want, we're going to go ahead and go back and change our active channel to the one that we want to modify. Note that if we go ahead and close out of this and we use that 1, 2, 3 on our numpad, you'll notice I'm flipping through the channels, but the additional channel stays static. So what this means is that you can change between 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6, but you'll always be monitoring channel 2, which keep in mind is our squad channel. And so by doing so, we can set our additional channel to something that we want to monitor at all times and be able to transmit back on. The active channel, which we swap using those numpad keys, we will listen to and be able to transmit on only while that frequency is set as our active channel. So let's go ahead and demonstrate. So we have 677. We're going to go ahead and hit caps lock by default, and we're transmitting on our command channel. We receive orders from command. What we'll do now is we'll hold down our T key by default, T as in Tango, and we'll give those orders to our squad. You'll notice that in the bottom right it changes to the additional channel 2, frequency 51, is what we're transmitting on. This means that I'm talking to my squad right now, but keep in mind that the active channel is still 1 and I can still hear orders from command as they come in. Likewise, if I were to transmit back to command and acknowledge their orders, I can still monitor channel 2. I am still hearing that frequency, so if my squad members report a man down or some other important information, I will still be alerted to that. Now this concept is the same for shortwave radios as it is for long-range radios. We're going to go ahead and bring up our RT1523G using Alt-P, Alt-Papa, and you'll notice that it's here on my back here. This is the standard long-range radio per SOP. So we're going to go ahead and bring this up, and we're going to see that the layout is mostly similar. These buttons have a similar function, and everything that you have on a short-range radio, you have on long-range as well. However, on this particular radio, you can use these buttons to switch between your channels. These work similarly to those on your numpad that you use for shortwave. However, as a shortcut, for the long range, in order to change your channels using the numpad, you hold down left control and the numbers on your numpad. You'll notice in the bottom right, I'm switching between channels using that method. Again, that's control numpad 1, control numpad 2, control numpad 3, etc. So go ahead and pull up our long range radio again. We're going to tune this to the ground to air channel. This is 37.7. This is what ground units will use to call air assets and communicate with them. Now let's say that I am a command staff, a member of command staff, and I want constant contact with all ground units on the ground command frequency, regardless of possible terrain interference or range. So I want to use a long-range radio to speak on that same frequency. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change my channel to 2. I'm going to tune this to 67.7. Remember, this is the ground command channel. And I'm going to go ahead and I want to set this as my additional channel, the same way that I do with my short range. This is the button ERF offset. If you hover over it, it'll tell you that's set additional channel. So now that that's set, what this means is that I'll be able to go back to channel 1 as my active. And if you look down here, the additional is still set to 2. Keep in mind 2 is our ground command channel. So now this is slightly different. The key bindings are different, of course, so there's no overlap. So if I want to speak on channel 1, this is ground to air communications, and I want to call in an air asset, I'll hold down control caps lock by default. And I'm currently speaking on channel 1. So I can call in at this point, some air asset and communicate with them. Now let's say that I want to speak to my ground units, but I don't want to use my primary shortwave channel, as you see here, 67.7 on the shortwave. Because let's say that there's a mountain between us, or they're more than 5 clicks away, or there's something else that might be interfering with our radios. So what I'll go ahead and do is I'll press and hold Y as in Yankee by default, and I'll speak on the additional channel for my long-range radio. I'll hold control caps lock by default to transmit on channel 1. This is my 37.7, my air asset channel, and I can call in air assets and communicate with them via this channel. However, if I wanted to transmit on my long-range radio on my ground command channel, if for whatever reason my shortwave either wasn't reaching, was not clear, or I wanted to speak to other command staff, I'd go ahead and hold Y as in Yankee by default and speak on additional channel 2. This channel is 67.7, and I'll now be transmitting to all ground units that have this frequency tuned, even if they have tuned on a shortwave radio. So as you can see, the shortwave and long-range radios are very, very effective in when you have multiple channels tuned at once, for multiple reasons. It allows contact between squads with less interference, less people talking over each other. It allows you to tune both air and ground channels simultaneously and be able to monitor and transmit on both at your leisure. This is very important for squad leaders and command staff and is vital for all air elements. Note that vehicle radios operate in much the same way that the standard backpack long-range radio does. We'll go ahead and we'll hop in this Humvee, and we're going to go ahead and pull up the radio in here. And in order to do that, we will here we go. So the driver's seat has a long-range radio, and you notice that I have my backpack radio here. We're going to go ahead, and if we didn't have one, it would pull up this vehicle radio. So go ahead and we'll set this as active. Now if we change to Alt-P, and we click this one, now that it's active, this is now the Humvee radio. It looks exactly the same. Air radios will look slightly different in helicopters and in jets, but they function much the same. The set additional channel keys, the set frequency keys, and the change channel keys are all present in all radios and work much the same way. So I hope this helped. So I hope this helps clear up some of the confusion around using multiple channels and not having to carry around 3 radios just to achieve what this does here today. This is going to be very, very vital to JTEC operators, to command staff, and also to squad leaders. How you roll this out within your squad is going to be up to you, though just keep in mind that the vital frequencies that all people should have tuned at any given time. If you have any questions, feel free to stop by our TeamSpeak and ask either myself or one of the other command staff, and we'll be happy to fill you in and go over any details with you a second time should you need it. This has been Second Lieutenant Indigo, the 275th Ranger Battalion, and we are out.